Dear Great Pumpkin, I'm looking forward to your arrival on Halloween night.
Who the hell are you?
Name's Ash. Housewares.
Wolfman's got Mars.
Sandworms. You hate them, right?
Let's start talking about some spooky Halloween stuff. And first up is...
my mother-in-law was visiting?
Yes, she is a terror.
Ooh.
That was a good costume, though.
That's not a costume. So we want to talk about...
Lady's a man, baby, yeah.
Norman?
So we're going to talk about scary movies. It is Halloween time, and it's a favorite thing for people to do at this time of year. Also, it's a favorite thing for movie theaters to bury us with is terrible scary movies. But what are some of your guys' favorite scary movies from over the years?
Mine personally is Event Horizon.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That
Very, very spooky.
Yeah, that movie scared the crap out of me, man.
With Sam Neill? Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for... You're not even in there. We
Yeah,
have
everybody
Ruben
who's
sitting
listening,
off in the
that's
corner.
Our resident troll for the evening.
Peanut gallery.
Yeah.
We have a live studio audience of one. If
And
you
a
want
cat.
tickets to the Nerds with Attitude podcast. Yeah, actually, before we jump into that, you make sure you guys contact us on Facebook and let us know what other social media we should be on that you can contact us through so that we can hear from you and talk about stuff you want to hear about or...
I don't think we twat, though.
Not yet. We don't
we
twat.
don't twat.
We don't Instagram.
Are we on MySpace?
We are on Grindr.
Ooh,
Grinder?
that's what all those messages are.
Look it up.
Okay.
So, scary movies. What are some of your guys' favorites other than Miguel's home movies?
So I'm going to say The Descent.
Descent.
Not really my favorite movie, but that movie is scarier than hell.
That's where they drop down into like a big pit or something like that,
I
right?
didn't see that one.
And there's, a little beastie thing eating folks and bloodbaths all over the place. And I don't want to... Spoiler alert. They all get eaten and die type movie.
Damn.
I can't go see those movies anymore because after Event Horizon, my wife swore off scary movies. So we don't go to see scary movies anymore because Event Horizon fucked her up royally. So
That was kind of like more of like a comedy horror, like Cabin Fever or
Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the
That
Woods
was a
that came
great
out
one.
last
That was
year,
good.
which it has kind of a funny twist to it, and
You didn't expect it.
No.
That kind of movie. You thought it was going to be like maybe like a Jason kind of movie, but it
right, yeah, no, it
surprising.
starts out setting up like it's a legit horror film, and then right away you're like, okay, it's not.
Yeah.
But it still has scary moments and very tense. Evil Dead movies are like that, where it's splat stick. I think that kind of coined that phrase for that
Tucker
genre
and
of movie.
Dale.
Tucker and Dale is hilarious.
God, Tucker and Dale's the
That is one of
best.
my favorites.
Yeah.
And Tucker and Dale is definitely a splat stick type of movie where you have overusage of blood and guts and all that. So
And then, of course, there's Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead,
the Dead.
classic.
Yep.
Exorcist was one of my favorites.
Funny as hell. God, that movie just cracked me up.
So
Way her head spun
my
around.
wife grew up Catholic, and which of course means she's not anymore. And she says, as a
Aren't we
Catholic,
all?
that The Exorcist is terrifying. And I watched it for the first time as an adult, and I thought it was boring as hell.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended. I really thought it was fucking terrible. Anyone else?
You didn't like the fuck me.
No, I didn't.
Well, my problem was, I grew up. My parents were a big fan of Saturday Night Live from day one, so I grew up with the not ready for primetime
Right.
players, and they had that classic sketch with Richard Pryor spoofing the whole
yes.
thing. So by the time I was old enough to see the movie, I couldn't take it seriously because of that sketch.
I think I'd probably been desensitized to other horror movies growing up, also that were way scarier and way more over the top. And also, I have seen Leslie Nielsen and all these other crappy movies spoofing Exorcist 1,000 times, but I really just thought it was
Repossessed.
slow and terrible.
Yeah, I hadn't seen Exorcist until I was probably in my mid-20s when I saw it the first time,
I think
and
this-
it just didn't have the effect on
Now,
me.
the scariest thing about it is its 2-hour runtime. That's why it's a long, boring movie. What else do you guys like? Do you have any guys have
Shining
any?
was pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, The Shining is a classic.
See, I've never been a big horror fan. I don't like blood and guts, gore, slasher movies. What I like is suspense. So I'm a big Hitchcock fan, things like that.
okay.
If a movie keeps me on the edge that I don't know what's coming next, or I'm just like, it's what you don't know that freaks you out, I'm more of a fan of that kind of thing. So,
Have you guys seen It Follows?
No, but
No.
I saw trailers for it. It looked really interesting.
It's really good.
Is
it's really
it?
good. Yeah,
Cool.
definitely check that out, guys.
What is the premise?
It's this creature that follows you, and you have to have sex with somebody else in order to move it, to make it go along to somebody else.
Yeah, it's
like
kind
a
of
curse kind of thing.
It's like an allegory for STDs and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's
So it's
porn.
like that horror movie back like 5-6 years ago, The Cell, where you call somebody up and all of a sudden it's on the phone. And
That
Oh,
movie
jeez.
was
Isn't that a
horrible.
parody?
No, that was an actual horror
I
movie.
thought it was a parody, like for a commercial, before you watch the movie at the movie theaters. Oh, jeez.
That was one of the stupidest ones.
The
you
Cell?
You get a phone call and that's the whole premise of the damn movie. Like everybody just drops off as soon as they answer the phone.
So
I had no idea.
It's
What's it called? The Cell?
either the cell, the call. The
Yeah, I
Cell's
don't think
the one
of
with
the s-
Jennifer Lopez.
Right,
Yes.
right.
That's
That was the one in the nightmares.
Yeah,
and all
like
that.
Last Call or something like that. Something like that had to do with phones.
Okay.
So another scary movie, if you're looking at drama and suspense, that I really love is Seven.
Oh,
yeah.
yes. Yes.
Now, maybe some people might say, "Oh, that's not a scary movie. That's more,
It's
drama."
intense, and I would put that in more of a thriller.
Psychological thriller. kind of thing.
Category. What about some of the classics like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and
The
some of
Thing
those
is pretty good.
classic 80s slashers? Any of those you guys watch like every year around Halloween time, like something you got to put on every
can
year?
watch Friday the 13th. I can watch, was it Nightmare on Elm Street? But when it comes to Halloween, I don't know what it is, but that score of music still freaks the hell out of me to this day. I
John
just-
Carpenter.
I,
Wasn't that John Carpenter? Halloween?
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. But like just as soon as there was one year I was walking around in Walmart. It was Halloween time. Somebody
That's
had that
scary.
as a ringtone, and they were right behind me in line. All of a sudden it started. And I'm like,
Freaked
"What
me
the
out."
fuck is that?" I'm looking around, and they're just letting it play.
Psycho?
Oh, that's your phone? Yeah. Sorry. I'm like, dude, change your ringtone, please.
You thought you were in a Halloween movie for a second there?
Oh, little side note on that. Watching these type of movies now, I have a job where I'm by myself at nighttime, right?
Uh-oh.
Cleaning classrooms. Apparently, I'm at a place that's supposedly haunted.
All
so
schools
I
are.
had to go and do this thing in the auditorium, and there's rumors of a spirit or ghost inside there. All that kept popping in my head was, I'm going to look up, and all of a sudden there's going to be something in front of my face. And what starts playing in my head? That stupid Michael Myers song. Just.
Did you say this was an auditorium?
Yes.
Okay, so I think Scott and I, who both have theater backgrounds, can tell you that every auditorium is supposedly haunted.
Yes.
To the point where there's a theater tradition called a ghost light, where
Okay.
when the theater is empty and not being used, you're supposed to leave one single light on stage turned on, and that's so that
That would
spirits
explain
can.
why the damn light's on all
Yes,
the time.
it's
Okay.
called a ghost light, and it goes
Interesting.
back for old superstitious, or as I like to call it, when people were dumb. So, Scott, I'm going to ask you to be a scorekeeper for this. We're going to play a quick game here of. So I'm going to see if you guys. This is pulled off of Ranker.com. Now, that is not Rancor, the big
think I need something to
monster
write with.
in Jabba's pit. Or you can probably do it in your head.
I doubt it.
All right, do it on paper. We're going to see if you guys can guess, according to Ranker.com, what the top 10 scariest movies of all time are.
Are these sequels as well included?
On the top 10, nothing is a sequel.
So this is not necessarily the best, just the scariest.
This is a public poll, and of the top 10 scariest movies of all time. Miguel, don't look over my shoulder. Miguel, you go first. What is your guess for one of the top 10 scariest movies of all time?
I would have to say Psycho.
Psycho is number 6. So Miguel gets a point. Austin?
I'm gonna say that the first Halloween's got to be on there. That was pretty.
Halloween is
Bastard.
number 3.
Booyah!
All right, maybe this will be a really fast. We'll just blow it out. All right, so Miguel has 1, Austin has 1, Robert.
I'm going to go original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street is number 4.
Boom.
All right, Gio.
Exorcist?
Exorcist is number 2. All right,
Number
everybody's got a
2.
point so far. Scott, this will be very easy. I told you could have done it in your head. Scott, what's your guess?
Alien.
Alien. Let me check.
Ah, very
Alien is
good.
number 5.
Number 5. All right.
All right, so Miguel, back to you.
Okay.
We've got a bunch of out of the top 6 already.
Let's see. I'd have to say something book related, since if this is going all times and all the book. I'd say It.
Ooh. It is
That was a TV
not
movie.
in the top 10.
Bastards.
You suck.
The Shining.
As a matter of fact, it is number 27.
Wow.
So, Austin.
How about Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is number 8.
Are we only going top 10?
Just top 10.
Okay.
Well, this take all day. And it's not, because you guys are really good.
Well, Austin took my guess, so I'm going to guess, was the original Halloween guessed already?
Yes.
And I'm going to guess Carrie.
Carrie
good.
is not in the top 10.
Ooh.
Carrie is number 15.
Yeah, close.
Close. All right, Gio.
The Shining.
The Shining. You have your phone in
He's
your
got
hand,
it
which
on
makes
his
me think
phone.
you're
I'm on
looking.
Facebook.
Get off of Facebook.
I swear.
The Shining is, hold on.
This is the first and
number
last time you'll see
1.
Gio.
Really?
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
Gio has guessed number 1 and number 2. All right, we almost got them all. Scott?
Do we? Shit.
think-
Friday the 13th. Was it already said?
I don't remember.
Actually, I have. That's not. Okay, whatever. I have another guess.
Friday
if
the
that's-
13th is number 12.
Oh, okay.
All right, so everybody did pretty well. I think
Scream.
Pretty, a lot of two
We're
two
putting
pointers.
Our audience member to sleep.
All right, we are. Our audience member fell asleep. Just so you know, I'll start a little bit lower. Carrie's 15, Night of the Living Dead 14, Dawn of the Dead 13, Friday the 13th
That's a
12,
shame.
Jaws was 11. So those are the ones that came in pretty close.
Okay.
Number 10 was Poltergeist.
Oh,
yes.
Number 9, Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah,
It's pretty intense.
it's intense.
But I think
Eh.
that falls under the 7 category too, where it's more of a psychological
Yeah,
thriller
I
than an
agree.
actual horror. Then the rest of them, I think you guys got Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Thing, Psycho was number 6. Nobody guessed Psycho. Did somebody say Psycho?
Yeah, we didn't guess the thing.
I did.
Oh,
I
Psy-
did say
okay.
The Thing,
The
but I
Thing,
said it really quietly.
Psycho. Number 5, the original Alien.
That was me.
Number 4, Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 3, Halloween. Number 2, The Exorcist. Number 1, The Shining.
Now, is this
Shining.
poll?
Yes.
Was this poll based on the people that do the polls for Family Feud, where they don't know shit?
Yes, they just randomly approach people on the street.
Oh, okay.
No, this is a public poll. You can see like The Shining. 2,400 people voted for The Shining, and
Was anybody else really screwed up?
750 people did not. So
Was anybody else really screwed up in The Shining whenever they killed Jazz? Scatman Crothers is sitting there
course.
just walking down the thing and he gets an axe to the gut. I was like, Jazz!
no, I didn't.
No.
Wait, who is-
Shelley Duvall actually was the
Transformers.
scariest thing in that movie to me, and I don't
Oh,
remember
those
watching
eyes.
it all the way
Those
through
eyes.
she's
Jazz
just-
is the kid's friend, right?
Jazz
the
is the
robot
Autobot,
Jazz?
the Autobot Transformer Porsche from
yes, kids.
He also worked at the
Scatman
hotel.
Crothers. Yeah, he worked at the
Never mind.
hotel.
Yeah, all right. So we're gonna move on.
I thought
He's
you
in
were
the
talking
sequel,
about
right?
music there.
He's
So
in
if
the
you
sequel
played
in the
along
book?
at home, who
Wait,
did what?
no,
now?
no, wait.
What are you talking
Never
about?
mind. I'm sorry.
I think Geo won.
So many voices in
It
my
was
head.
a 4-way tie with 2 points. All right.
You're alt number 2.
Nobody really. Some current movies that are coming out. Crimson Peak is a Guillermo del Toro movie that's currently in theaters.
Opened yesterday.
And who's seen this? Because the trailer looks pretty good.
Trailer looks great.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us have actually seen the movie.
Do you
Nobody's
want
ex-
me to read the plot?
Sure. Hit me.
Baby,
Wait, no, it's
one
too
more
long.
time.
It's really long.
Give me a synopsis.
There's a house.
Think, man.
Yeah, there's
think.
It's a brother and a
house.
sister
Is this
live
a
together.
Woman's
in
Time a
this-
Month movie? Like in the mountains? Is that what this is?
It's all a
And
metaphor
there
for
goes
that.
the 2 women that actually listen to the podcast.
So who's
That was Kevin,
so
by the
where's
way.
the submarine coming into play?
It's a continuation.
When
of
does Loki
Brokeback
come
Mountain.
in?
That's what it is.
Oh, is that Crimson Tide?
And there goes our one gay audience member. Can we
love
throw
the
anybody else
gays.
out?
We had a
Love
gay
'em.
audience member? All right.
Yes, Austin.
From what I understand, I saw Hiddleston on some late night talk show the other night.
That's Loki for the non-nerds.
Yes, I guess it must have been the Daily Show, and they showed some clips and talked about it. Him and it was a Chastain play a brother and sister that inherited the old creepy house that their parents had and died off, and they're 2 creepy siblings who never married off themselves, so they live in this house. And I
Incest.
guess this third character, this other woman, comes to the house needing help or something.
I think she
Car
actually
broke
marries
down.
Loki. or
Yeah.
something.
Well, yeah, somehow then so
Alice.
Hiddleston hooks up with her, and it's all from, she represents the audience. She's just a person who's experiencing this house for the first time, and it's a big, scary, creepy, gothic house, and it's it's a throwback to like Victorian Gothic, romanticism and all that stuff. So they're not. It's not a out and out scary horror movie. It's more of a dark, gothic romance type thing. Very very much a Tim Burton-esque type of thing, and very much in step
Live
with a lot
action
of
Corpse Bride.
Yeah, there you go. That's not a bad way to
All right.
capsulize it. So it's one of those movies that's going to get a lot. It's almost a date movie in some ways, I guess.
Jump in my lap,
At least-
Yeah.
Well, that's what horror movies are good for, is making, if you're
horror
a big
or whores.
And there goes our 2 horror audience members.
Come back, please. I got money.
We're never going to get hookers to listen to this podcast.
Damn it.
I'm done with you, baby. Your money's on the dresser.
I didn't know, but Jax from Sons of Anarchy's in it. Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah, because he was in another Guillermo del Toro movie with giant robots.
Oh yeah.
I see.
Is this going to be
Pacific
a
Rim.
Tim
Don't make that
Burton,
face at me.
It's a
Johnny
really
Depp
good
thing with
movie,
those two?
Pacific Rim. I love it. Yeah, it's really nice. I got some NECA figures from that.
That is a good movie.
Nerd.
Scott, quit making
Sorry,
faces.
guys.
Pacific Rim is
How
genius.
about this for potentially scary movie? Indiana Jones 5.
Terrifying.
What?
Spielberg says that he'd be on board. I believe I read somewhere that Harrison Ford says he would be on board.
Shia
Indiana,
LaBeouf?
Indiana Jones and the Death by Beaten Horse.
I believe he has to go find like some like golden dentures in some retirement home or something like that. I really don't know. The scariest thing is if Shia LaBeouf would come back.
The
And
CGI
say,
ants.
just do it.
I'm on all board on this.
You're all on
because
board?
You're all on
I
board?
am all on board because here's why. The last one sucked ass, and I loved the trilogy so much. It was such a disappointment to have that last movie and go out like on a ugh. So if they're willing to make another movie, I think they can redeem themselves.
Save the franchise.
Can they please make it without George Lucas?
Is
They
he completely
will be.
retired? I hope.
Pretty much.
We can hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ads
This is
on
this is
knockoffs.
going to get me lynched at this table, but I didn't completely hate Crystal Skull.
Neither did I. Thank
All
you
right.
very
On the
much.
same
On
page.
Dissenting
now,
opinions.
I didn't either.
On a first viewing, my gut reaction was, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. On a second viewing, my only problems were like, all right, the nuclear bomb thing was a big stretch and was
Oh,
kind of
Jesus.
stupid. And my only problem the rest of the movie was shoddy CGI.
And that's the problem I had with it.
Okay, but as far as like, it was still kind of a fun story, had some good comedy in
Yes.
it. Shia LaBeouf,
Whatever.
more personally
Semi.
is annoying as hell, but in the movie, he's all right. So I actually don't. I still rate that above Temple of Doom.
What?
No,
No.
no, 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 no,
Blasphemy.
no, 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 no.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I-
Sorry.
my
Can't
problem-
stand
All right,
Temple
guys,
of
I'm out.
Doom.
Grab the giant boulder.
I'm sorry.
I didn't like whenever the crystal alien actually turned into a real alien. I think that went a little too...
It was not an
if
alien.
they-
Existentialism.
I know it was an ultra-dimensional being, but still, it turned into a fucking alien, and it
Which
was
they gave up
stupid.
at the end. The writers, they're like, "Fuck it, just do aliens."
Well, that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to do. George Lucas wanted aliens. Steven Spielberg said, "No, I don't want aliens." So George Lucas said, "Well, then it's an extra-dimensional being."
oh, jeez.
Yeah, exactly.
It needs to come out of somebody's
Well, I thought
chest.
that was a good twist on the classic, little green man alien that that image we've seen for years, the Roswell crash and
I
all
just
that
didn't
stuff.
need to see it actually take form. If it would have stayed a crystal skeleton, at
Yeah.
least that kind of would have fit in with the rest of Indiana Jones
And
stuff.
I just gotta say, I love that movie on a lot of levels. The monkey scene, of course,
Oh,
terrible.
God,
The
yeah.
CGI,
The ants.
was overdone. the nuking the fridge, I'll admit, a little over the top, but I thought that was fun and tongue in cheek, and that part I actually kind of liked for that. But overall, I thought it was a rollicking good time. I mean, I paid my $10. I had 2 hours of solid entertainment.
Yes.
It was great to see my hero back in his outfit, and I did like the fact that it was aged appropriately timeline wise, and I did like that they stepped away from the usual. They took some risks. They stepped away from the religious artifacts, went a little bit more sci-fi, went from the Nazi thing to more of the 50s pulp sci-fi angle, and making jokes about
I
how
totally
old he
agree.
is now
The
and
swinging-
everything. I loved all of it, and I would gladly pay $10 or $12 to do that again.
So you agree that it's better than Temple of Doom? All right. So
Not necessarily. It's I don't know. They're close. I'd have to sit and think about it, but
Even with the swinging-
but I don't think that movie's nearly as bad as everybody likes to make it out to be.
I agree.
I'm a big defender of it. So
Well,
bring it on. Let's do it again.
I
All
think
right.
it's because the third one was so good that everyone loved The
Yeah.
Last Crusade, and they were
Yeah.
expecting the Crystal Skull one to be just like that, and it wasn't. I think that's really why people don't.
I've
don't
heard people
appreciate
argue
it.
that The Last Crusade is the best of the original 3, and that's a hard thing to argue against. I think
I agree.
It's not my opinion. Still go Raiders, but
I go
that
Raiders.
third one is so good.
Yeah.
That if somebody's got an argument for it, then I let them have it.
I agree. I really like the third one. So.
Raiders,
And-
Last Crusade,
and
Temple of Doom,
it's
Crystal
totally
Skull.
it's totally cool if Disney wants to reboot it someday. I know they're going to have to do that eventually, and as long as they pick somebody good, I would be fine with Chris Pratt.
Well-
But in the meantime, as long as Harry's still alive and Spielberg's still alive, and they want to do it, let them do it one or two more
Yep.
times first,
Yeah.
and then reboot it. You got plenty of time to reboot it down the line,
That's true.
or do a soft reboot where you do like the 2-level story where you've got Harrison playing older and then somebody new playing younger.
That kid
and
from
have
Age
that,
of Adeline.
Have that time, because they did that a couple of times in the Young Indie series, and that worked well.
Well, they tried that with
not,
Die Hard.
Not so much for River Phoenix, but it
Well,
was a
there's
good concept.
The movie Age of
Ouch.
Adeline just came out.
Too soon?
last year, and the kid they got to play Harrison Ford looked like him, sounded like him.
Yes.
I mean, it's scary how much he looked like him and acted.
Was
like
he
him.
as grumpy?
No, because he played a younger version. He wasn't quite kicked in the nuts enough yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No plane crashes.
No
So-
plane crashes. Yeah.
Moving on, another cool movie that's coming out very soon is called Freaks of Nature, and this is
Can't
like we
wait
were
for
talking
this
about
one.
earlier. I think we actually have a trailer here that we were going to play to let you know what this is all about.
Someone once said that home is where the heart is.
Holy shit!
Well, that dickhead never had to grow up in Dilford, Ohio.
Come with me, if you want to live. The zombies are eating me! Why won't I pass out? They ripped off my arm! That was my bowling arm! Oh, fuck this!
That's going to have a lot of great comedians in it. Bob Odenkirk from Breaking Bad.
Patton.
Unfortunately, I know him from Mr. Show, but Patton Oswalt's in it.
Wait, did you say unfortunately you know him from Mr. Show? I would say fortunately.
Well,
you know him from Mr.
unfortunately,
Show.
nobody else knows him from Mr. Show.
you.
So that's what I was saying. So it's got a lot of great comedy in it, some unknown stars. It's zombies versus vampires versus the human race versus aliens, and very splat-stick comedy horror, again, which we were talking about earlier. It looks like it's going to be a good time. Yes, we have questions.
I would like to know, in that mix, zombies, aliens, vampires, where are the robots?
Part 2. It's in the sequel.
That's racist. To
They
keep the
left
robots
Earth.
out.
Go back to Cybertron.
Stop
Yeah,
being
they'll
racist.
be in Transformers 5, probably, knowing how that series is
Or
Talk about
6,
scary
7,
movies.
8.
I'm excited about that. Trailer looks awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
The other thing I wanted to talk about is the Ash versus the Evil Dead, which is extremely exciting. And that's going to take place in real time from when it actually takes place after the... Let's have the trailer tell you what about it.
Evil is always waiting in the shadows. And only one man will rise against it. Who are you?
Pablo, music.
You're balls deep in this shit.
Let's tango, bitch. Yo, Granny. Let's go.
All right, so...
I am so on board.
It's Ash Returns. That's Bruce Campbell, and he's in his classic brown pants, blue shirt, chainsaw hand outfit, and it looks amazing.
Also got his classic chin.
Well, the chin never goes out of style.
Is he still working at S-Mart?
That'll be revealed. I believe he may be shopping at S-Mart.
He's
in
the
this
manager
one.
now.
District manager.
But he actually does reference in a longer trailer that 30 years ago he unwittingly unleashed some sort of hell, and this is his chance to finally put it to rest once and for good. So I believe this miniseries will probably wrap up the Ash story. But still, it starts Halloween. It's going to be on Stars, and we'll post some links to that. It's going to be great.
Does he still get a discount
Xena's
in the
gonna be
garden
in it.
department?
Yes, you said Xena, and the name went right out of my head.
Lucy Lawless.
Lucy Lawless is going to be in. I'm sure this thing's going to be chock full of guest stars because this thing's got a big enough history in Hollywood. I bet a lot of people are going to want to be in it and get killed or eaten or be a deadite or something.
I have never seen any of the Evil Dead movies.
What the
Quiet
fuck?
hush across the
I've
front.
seen them, but out of order, so I don't know what came first.
Just skip to
what came
Army of
last.
Darkness and you're good.
Okay.
No,
What?
watch Evil Dead 2 because Evil Dead 2 with a little bit better budget recaps in a good way the first Evil Dead movie and then adds on to it a little bit more. So the first half of Evil Dead 2 is just retelling Evil Dead.
That's what I've heard. It's essentially a remake.
So watch Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. You'll be good to go. Evil Dead is great for a new director, small, new actors, small budget. See what we can do with just talent and
No
drive
budget.
and no money.
1970s Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, painful to watch.
Evil Dead 2 is great.
They're hilarious.
Very funny, very full of blood and guts and scary and comedy and. I mean, it's no Temple of Doom, but.
Ouch.
Kalima. Kalima.
We are going
Also
to
coming to
die.
TV, we'll talk a little bit. We got a little bit of nerd news here before we get on to our next topic that's Halloween related. Ghostbusters, which is Halloween adjacent.
Ish.
Ish.
There's cosplay.
The theme plays at every Halloween party, whether you want it to or not.
Miguel dresses as one every day at work.
That's true.
Miguel wears a backpack. in
There's
case you don't know.
limited edition Ghostbuster shoes that you can buy. They have a couple of different styles here. And again, we'll post a link to this on the Facebook page. They have the classic tan with the red and black name tag of the four guys. You also have one that's sort of black and white, and it's got the no ghost symbol on it. And on the back of the shoes, it says, who you going to call? It's kind of look like a bowling shoe. And then they have one that's sort of... when you go to like the flea market and there's a guy that does the airbrush T-shirts and it's Zool doing electricity on the shoes.
What?
And
No Slimer?
Nah,
No,
not
that's-
on these.
That's Goza the Gozerian.
And currently they're available at Nookie's website while supplies last. But these were announced a couple days ago, so you
Isn't that the
probably
girl
don't
from
know this.
Jersey Shore?
No, that would be
Snooki.
Snooki, and those are more of like a stripper shoe with
You watched that show?
with an airbrush Vinny. On the side of it, I'm appalled that I can come up with any of this information off the
Wait,
top of my
what?
head.
So am I.
He knows the name of the
Under what
character.
situation would you purchase such shoes?
Snooki
Stripping.
shoes?
Well, whatever they're doing currently, now that they're not on TV, it's probably street walking, stripping.
And there goes our Jersey Shore audience.
Oh, bye. So,
Were those the Ghostbusters?
so let me ask you,
stripping?
what of the shoes? Let's say, which ones do you think you guys would wear?
Venkman.
You'd be Venkman.
Venkman.
Yeah, I like that. The basic, the uniform.
The
type
tan ones
shoe
with the brand.
with
Which
name.
of the four name tags would you be?
Oh, I like Dan Aykroyd's character a lot, or Egon.
So, Spengler.
Ray Stantz, or
Nope, that was
He said he'd go Dan Aykroyd.
Either
too.
or.
Dan. You'd be Dan Organ. So I would do stance because they're shoes,
He's a
and that's a
buster.
thing that you do with your feet is take a. That's about how I expected that joke to land. Gio?
Bump.
Dan Aykroyd's character.
Stance.
I'd go Egon because
Egon.
for the longest time I actually looked a lot like the guy with the glasses and all
Yeah.
that. So.
Well, if you grew your hair out kind of curly up
I
on
know,
top
right?
and put your glasses back on,
I know.
you might have it.
He's about halfway
No,
there.
nobody chose Winston.
I know,
The
bunch
black
of
guy's not getting any
racists.
love now.
Racist.
There goes.
I'll
never
choose
mind,
Winston.
stop.
You'll be Winston.
Yeah.
All right.
Lando. He's Orlando.
He just better not wear a red shirt and get shot the first 10 minutes.
And then also in TV-related news, we all know Gotham is back. Has everybody been watching Gotham?
No.
Saw
It's
episode
been
1.
way different this season. It's
Yeah.
dark. It's really heavy. There's a lot of death. Anyone?
I gave up on the episode where Jerome died. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Wait,
I hadn't
that's
seen
it.
that one
supposed to-
actually.
supposed to say
so,
spoiler alert
yeah,
first.
Okay.
It was terrible.
I would
Just give
say
up on Gotham.
I would say don't give up. I think that was a misstep on their part, but I do think that the show they are looking at not quite doing the villain of the week. Introduce them, wreak havoc, put them in Arkham. They're actually going to let the villains have long multi-episode arcs and go the whole season with different storylines. So
Hopefully by the time Batman is Batman, they won't all be walking around with walkers and canes because all of his villains are 20 years older than he is.
well,
Wait a minute. For Gotham, besides the news we're reporting on, isn't Michael Chiklis now in this?
yes, Michael Chiklis is going to be in this season. I would have to go to IMDb to see who the other one was. But what I want to talk about was Paul Rubens is joining. Yeah, we all do the laugh.
Who
So,
I will say is a fantastic actor.
well, he is a great actor, and I think he's a great choice for this role because he played it in Batman Returns back in, what was that, 1991?
No, 92,
1992.
93.
He played Penguin's father in a previous Batman movie. Plus, he looks almost exactly like Robin Lord Taylor. So I think that's a great casting.
Meta casting.
And it should be a good time. So I look forward to see Paul Rubens in Gotham. So that about wraps it up for our this portion of our nerd news. So I want to go into let's talk about our next Halloween-related topic: video games. What are some of your favorite scary video games?
Fatal Frame from Xbox. It was actually a suspenseful video game. So when originally it was released on Xbox, nobody knew anything about it except for that all you did was go around taking pictures in the dark.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody was like, well, yeah, it's not Resident Evil. Why should I care? 15, 20 minutes into it, you want the lights on because, I mean, it's that horrifyingly scary.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're walking around in a dark room, and you kind of see a glimmer. So the whole point is you don't have you have no weapon, nothing except for a camera. And you're supposed to just go around and take snapshots of what you see. You're kind of like you're playing a reporter trying to find a story. You snap it, and then the picture gets loaded, and you see what's there, and all you see is a face looking right at you. You know, but there's nothing else in the room.
All right, so that's it's Xbox, a little bit of an older game. There was a game I used to play on, I think it was GameCube, that was called Eternal Darkness.
Okay.
And it was this game where like you would go into these different levels and you would start to go insane, and the game would actually fuck with you. Like the picture would flicker, or like a bug would start walking around on the corner of the screen, so you think there was like a fly on the TV or something. And the longer you were in the level going insane, the crazier and crazier things would go until the game would just like randomly scream at you and stuff. It was kind of like a adventurer.
The Ring before the Ring.
No, you were kind of like an Indiana Jones hunting through pyramids and looking for some kind of thing. But as you got into this weird spiritual old stuff, it would start to make you go kind of crazy. But so that was a game that I used to like a lot. But like old like Doom originally. Anybody ever played that?
I don't
consider
video
that
games.
A scary game.
I don't video games, so I'm kind of out of this conversation.
Resident Evil 1 for the PS1. Was
Resident Evil 1,
yeah.
the classic.
Yeah, that
the
first
director's
one was
cut.
scary as hell.
What about a little more modern, Dead Island?
Ooh, that one's
I have
good.
not played
It is
it.
an amazing zombie game. It's great with headphones on because
Dying
they
Light,
do
too.
a great surround sound mix, and as you hear like zombies kind of scurrying around and running up from in the background, and it's got a good spooky score to it. It's a good time.
Dying Light is a good one.
Dying Light?
It's like Dead Island too.
What platform is that on? All of them?
Xbox One and PS4.
All right. You guys, anybody else play any of the scary video games at all? Or no?
I've heard of Castlevania. But
You've
that's
heard
like
of
ancient.
Castlevania. I think there's a vampire in that. Well, according
place in a
to going to Ranker again, as voted on by the public, top 10 video game scary video games are BioShock, Manhunt, Sanitarium, original Resident Evil, Eternal Darkness, Resident Evil 4, Dead Space 2, Dead Space, Fatal Frame 2, and Silent Hill.
It's a lot of prequels and sequels, honestly.
Yeah.
But notice how all those video games are more modern than older video games.
You know
some
what
of the older ones, well, Doom 3, Silent Hill 2. I'm scrolling through the list to see where some of the old ones.
There was a recent game that kind of...
Doom ranks number 26. Whatever Five Nights at Freddy's is, I think that's what junior high kids are playing right now.
Yeah.
Porn.
You got Alone in the Dark at number 38.
All right.
A game that I don't think is particularly
Dead.
scary, but it kind of freaked me out. It was just weird in that, so again, mentioning Guillermo del Toro or Tim Burton-esque kind of way. I forget what it's called. Is it BioShock, where you go in this underwater place?
Okay, that steampunk style.
Yeah, there's this weird robot and this little girl. That just,
Yeah.
It kind of just was unsettling.
Big Daddy or something like that.
Yeah, Big Daddy. And
Yeah, it's like
it's a pretty good game, actually.
Post-nuclear war kind of survive the wasteland kind
Dystopia.
of thing. Yeah, BioShock 2 is on the list. I'm sure BioShock's on here too. All right, so that's scary games. Check those out if you're a gamer. Let us know what your favorites are.
54, Call of Duty.
What?
Well,
As
you're
World
the,
at War.
You're playing multiplayer.
Yeah, well, it also lists Plants vs. Zombies, so I'm going to call bullshit on that list. So
Yeah.
you let us know on
Bottom of the
Facebook
list.
what your favorite scary game is. And we'll get back into nerd news. So second portion of the program for news. This is the Department of Misinformation. So a couple stories for you that maybe you haven't heard about yet. First one, in the continuous onslaught of Star Wars merchandise comes... Yeah, Scott's very happy. Comes a new Lego Stormtrooper First Order set. It's based on the popularity of the in-store life-size displays. Have you guys seen these, where you have like a full 6-foot tall Stormtrooper? Lego will be offering. They're offering. It's a whopping 26,582 piece, 6-foot tall Stormtrooper.
Get the fuck out of here!
And it's gonna. It looks like it will probably retail for about $2,500. But it will include an exclusive Captain Phasma minifig. So that's sort of where they're trying to get people.
I'd say we buy it just for
board on
that.
Are there
You would
any
probably
entry
need
holes?
to have that one like home delivered through a truck in a crate. I would imagine.
Yeah,
I
how
can't
much does that
imagine.
thing weigh?
Austin's our
Get
our
it through Amazon
resident
Prime. You get free shipping.
Free shipping, sure. Austin, you're our Lego expert on this. What are your thoughts on a life size build?
My thoughts are I can't use that and I can't afford it, so I am not interested.
How long would you think that would take you to put together 27,000 pieces?
Jeez, I don't know.
About 6-7 hours.
Are they Duplos?
Oh my God! It's a life-size building.
So can you wear the suit? Is it?
No,
like-
it's just a 3D figure, human-sized
Oh, I'm
Lego,
out then.
figure.
I'm out.
just like you see in the stores. That people. Well, all right. It's definitely going to hit a very narrow market. I would imagine they aren't going to sell too many of them, but
Not many people
You'd
have
want somebody
$2,500
use
to spare.
Lego Technics to make this thing movable.
that's true. I welcome our robot overlords. All right, next up, Sideshow. You guys all know Sideshow. They do the highly detailed 12-inch figures and really, really detailed statues. The popular manufacturer of highly detailed 1/6 scale figures announces plans. It was actually on this past Wednesday to produce a revolutionary new 1/18 scale set of G.I. Joe figures. Which is exciting for a bunch of us here who all collect G.I. Joe.
Yay!
Using the latest in 3D printing technology, Sideshow's new 4-inch figures will have weapons with moving parts and will also have micro-tailored clothing and armor. Now, I'm not quite sure what all that entails, but apparently it'll be using a technology that was first used in botany for plant grafting. So apparently very, very tiny little stitching for some of that. Planned release is in for second quarter of next year, so 2016, so we got to wait for those. But the figures look like they're going to pre-order for about $60 a piece. So
It's not a bad price, actually.
How about we get some 6-inch Joes? If there is 6-inch Joes, I'm on top of that.
You're one of these 6-inchers, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
He's been
an
told
average
4
Joe.
inches is 6 inches
Hey,
his
there's
whole life.
no need to insult the man. 6 inches is a perfectly average size.
Well, this is great. I'm glad somebody's paying attention to G.I. Joe, because
and
Hasbro sure should. isn't it?
Hasbro's, there's nothing coming out, and
Habro,
these
where
are,
my Creo at, yo?
these are going to be, they're expensive, but they're going to be like little, like they're going to be like Indian in the cupboard. There's going to be like life-size little, or life-like little soldier guys.
But now we're going to hear the
clothing
bitching.
and-
We're going to hear the bitching about people with the real cloth clothing and stuff like that. It's just
Yeah.
internet
They're gonna
people.
have the real skin bodies like those third-party knockoffs do.
Like that weird.
Yeah, that kind of weird rubber skin.
I wonder if that's
hope
what some of
not.
that plant stuff is that they're talking about.
Well, no, it's
No?
the way that they actually sew.
Okay.
Because a normal sewing machine can't do pants that are 2 inches tall.
Right. It's
And
true.
otherwise, you'd have one stitch and it'd be closed. I would imagine. I don't know. I don't sew. So, next up also is this is ridiculous, and I hope it's not true.
Screw you.
A Dino Riders movie.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
So Mattel hoping to
That
give
nobody
the-
asked for.
Mattel is apparently hoping to compete with the Transformers franchise and give it a run for its money by bringing Dino Riders to the big screen.
Oh, anything to try and get themselves out of the hole.
Yeah, it was a short-lived syndicated cartoon back in 1988.
Hey, for us poor kids, it was the best thing ever, okay?
And if you're not familiar, it was dinosaurs with missiles on their heads.
Kind of like the new Grimlock.
Now, if Mattel's truly trying to compete with Hasbro in the live-action film market, Mattel has a much more well-loved and established brand than Dino Riders to do this with, and they've been talking about making a film on this property for years, and that's He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I'm literally confused. If their true intention is to compete with Hasbro in the Transformers movies, why are you bringing out a tangentially, marginally known property when you've got He-Man in your back pocket.
And He-Man's had quite a resurgence in the action figures
all I'm
in
saying.
the last couple of years.
Now you know why Mattel's doing so shitty.
Now, what about GoBots? Would that be
Well,
a
I'd rather watch
viable-
GoBots.
I'd
Honestly,
rather
I
watch-
would rather watch GoBots.
I would rather watch a GoBots movie than
Than a He-Man
anything
movie.
Michael Bay churns out. I'll tell you that right
Well,
now.
Yeah.
Well,
Well-
GoBots from Gobatron.
The GoBots. The GoBots.
It'd be worse if they
Well,
did
take a
Rock
look at-
Lords.
Oh my gosh.
Then what?
Rock
How about
Lords.
a Silverhawks movie?
Well, take a look at what's happened
go
though
for
with Jurassic
Silverhawks.
Park. Jurassic Park has been, out the door. Jurassic World that just came out this year, that
Right.
did
So
very
dinosaurs are
well.
hot, so that kind of makes sense.
Well, I think this is going to be a huge market for females in particular, because
Because they like big lizards?
No, because I mean, females are going to flock to this because they like to see people riding dinosaurs.
Said
What?
No woman ever.
The fuck?
My
No.
wife constantly, she has a tattoo of a velociraptor with
There you go.
strawberry shortcake on it. So I mean, they love things riding dinosaurs. You're right. That's not.
No, this feels like something that's aimed. Seriously,
What
this
the
feels
fuck
like
is
something.
wrong with people?
This seems like something that would be aimed at like 5 to 10-year-olds and
Yeah.
marketing toys.
Yeah.
That's what
They
this
should
is
just make
about.
an animated series and
That
but-
would be awesome
Call
to
it
do
a
it as
day.
an
So we'll
animated
see.
series again.
All right, we touched on this a little bit earlier when talking about Indiana Jones. It's been rumored for a while that Chris Pratt should, take up the Indy helm. And there was even a rumor going around recently that he was rumored to be in a Han Solo movie. So news now is that Chris Pratt is rumored to reprise all of Harrison Ford's roles as Pratt assimilates Ford's entire career. We should be looking forward to reboots of Air Force One, 6 Days, 7 Nights, Witness, and a reboot of just Anchorman 2, which I think is a weird choice, but Harrison Ford wasn't in the first one. So.
What about Regarding Henry?
Probably.
That was a great movie.
Wasn't
about-
that on the news a couple
Absolutely.
months ago?
It's something like that.
Oh, okay.
The Chris Pratt news is all over the place, so we'll
Oh,
see
no,
if that
I'm talking
pans out.
regarding Henry. Him plane crash. Come on.
Yeah.
Was it a plane crash? No, he was
See, that would've
shot
been-
in the head.
No, when
In
Harrison
Regarding
Ford
Henry.
crashed his plane.
Right.
That was more 6 Days, 7 Nights. If you
Really?
yeah, because he crashed a plane on an
yeah,
island
that's
with
true.
NH.
Yeah.
What they
And-
could do is bring back, remake Harrison Ford's most beloved movie of all time, which is, of course, Frantic, directed by Roman Polanski. They could bring him back, too. Well, I guess they can't.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And finally, not really news, but it is Halloween related, and I wanted to get your guys' feedback on this. Some of you guys have kids. New Halloween trend for millennials. Is that what they're calling kids these days?
Yes.
I guess.
Shitheads.
It's called
Bastards.
text or treating. All right. So apparently on Halloween, kids are encouraged to text each other with hashtag trick or treat and then @reply with a candy image. The trend is being sponsored by the United Parents Coalition, who hail the trend as being much safer than going outdoors and much healthier than eating actual candy.
It's cheaper.
You know what I see on this?
However, parents should still check their child's Instagram feed first for videos of candy with razor blades in them.
You know what I see on this? I see instead of text or treating, it's going to be sext or treating, and some dumbass is going to send a picture of his dick saying, "Suck on my Rolos." I mean, it's just going to go that far.
Why's it got to be a black guy?
I didn't say it was a black guy.
I don't
He
have
just
a
might
Rolo.
have a big Rolo package. I don't know. Suck on my Kit Kat. Suck on my Sweet Tart. I don't care.
Well, that would be if
Well,
girls were texting
Robert-
each other.
Robert's got Mentos.
Yeah.
It's the freshman.
So
you have kids. Do you think this is something you would have your kids do?
I think this was put on by the United States anti-obesity campaign or something like that. Instead of parents actually having to spend time with their kids, they can just throw the phone at them and then, hey, go text someone tonight.
Well, and we've heard Miguel many times talk about the kids being entertained with phones at the table at restaurants and just stare at this thing and go on. So this just seems like another down that line.
I mean, hey, great. If you hate your kids, throw a phone at them and they'll be safe for Halloween at least.
Literally
Wait, so
throw
I
the-
hate all kids. So I can just go around throwing phones at them?
Hey,
Yes.
you can give all
We
my kids a
encourage
phone
that.
if you
That's
want.
awesome.
That's the new Halloween treat for us. Instead of hitting baseball bats with mailboxes, toilet paper, and we could just go around throwing phones at people.
It's
I like that.
The other day, my
Now, can I do a variation on this? I'm sorry to cut you off.
Raise your hand, Scott.
Boring
I'm sorry,
conversation
you were
anyway.
over there. If kids come to the door to trick or treat, can I just show them a picture of candy on my phone?
That'd be awesome.
I want to do that.
All right, Scott. I'm sorry, I cut Scott off.
It was just a little story the other day. My sister's driving down the road, and my niece says, "Mom, give me your phone. Give me your phone." My sister says, "No." Takes a book, throws a book at her, and says, "Read a book."
Nice.
That's what they need to do. Throw
Talking
books
about
at
hitting them
kids.
with knowledge. Shit.
Exactly.
Or an apple or something.
I think you need to print out a piece of candy.
There you go. It's healthier for you.
See how stupid they are and say it's lickable candy.
All of a sudden, acid. People are dropping acid all over the place.
Yeah, Mommy, I went to this creepy old man's house. He said, "Here, lick this."
All right, so that's it for Department Misinformation. Finally, before we go, I want to talk to you guys about growing up. Halloween was always a big thing for me. I always loved dressing up. We
Favorite
talked
holiday.
in the last episode when me and Miggs and the Cripple were talking about costumes and some of our favorite stuff. So I want to know from you guys, what are some of your favorite costumes that you've worn as a kid, as an adult? Maybe somebody you know wore it at a party. What do you guys? What's your favorite Halloween costumes?
My favorite Halloween costume when I was a kid, my mom dressed me. My mom and my grandmother, actually, there's a couple. The first one was a Jawa costume, in which they smeared black paint all over my face, and they had these little, yeah, very, very, and these little glasses. I mean, we're talking the late '70s, early '80s here. These glasses that were wireframe with little light eyes, and just pulled up a little hood and walked around. And then another one, my grandmother made a full-on E.T. costume for me. Actually tucked in all the little muscles and the little light bulb in the finger and the whole bit. I saw through his nostrils. It was really cool.
I had a Obi-Wan Kenobi costume when I was, I think, in the 4th grade, but the beard was so itchy, I eventually just ditched it.
And you were young Obi-Wan.
Well, no, I was a monk.
Oh, okay.
I think I dug up some little paper cross somewhere, and I was just a monk for the rest of the night because the beard was itchy.
And then this year, Bespin Han Solo. Yep.
That's right. This year, you are dressing up as Han Solo.
Bespin Han Solo.
That's going to rock.
That is going to rock.
Nice. What about you guys? What's favorite Halloween?
Oh, I dressed up as Batman when I was a little kid.
Which Batman?
Is
it like Adam
I
West
think it was
Batman?
Adam
There's
West
a correct
Batman.
answer here.
Yeah, Adam
Well,
West.
there's a couple of variations depending on when we grew up.
If you say George Clooney, we just pull your mic.
I'm just
no
trying to-
bat nipples.
Bat nipples.
No bat nipples.
But it was Adam West. I remember. I think I'm trying to find a picture here on Facebook. I uploaded it. Sorry.
That's okay.
Well, if you find it, we'll share that on the Facebook page so people can see. Matter of fact, I'll see if I can get old or new Halloween photo costumes from you guys, and we'll share that with you guys on the Facebook page. Robert?
So, as a kid, I was very into Star Wars, and every year I dressed up as a different Star Wars character. I would have to say Chewbacca probably was my favorite.
No, did you get like a monkey suit or something, or what did you wear?
Well, back in the 80s, we had, you just bought the costume and it had, the cheap generic plastic.
Like the single
face.
piece vinyl
Yes,
with the
yeah.
With
mask?
his picture on it.
The plastic smock.
Yes.
Hi,
So-
I am this guy, and you're pointing to your chest.
So I really like that. As an adult, for my own kids, I have a couple kids, and we've handmade costumes and actually won costume contests for a couple of them. One was Wall-E from the animated. We made an actual Wall-E costume where it was a box. It went over one of our kids. He had a little helmet thingy.
Oh,
looked
right on.
exactly like Wall-E. And then the second one was Bowser from Mario, Super Mario Brothers. Full costume as well. You couldn't even see a human. Now, for me as an adult, my two favorite costumes is I've dressed up as Wyatt Earp, and I've also dressed up as Darth Vader as an adult.
Oh, very cool.
You're doing a really nice Princess Leia right now with those headphones.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's
the
the
beard.
after years with the shaving.
Yeah. Older Princess Leia.
I think my favorite Robert costume is
Spaceballs
the
Princess Leia.
profile pic we have for you on our Facebook page of you eating ice cream as a serial killer.
That's not creepy at all.
Funny story about that. We actually, I don't know if I shared this, but we were taking some pictures, some professional pictures, and we got a free one, and I didn't want it. And the guy was like, "Yeah, you got to do a pose." And we had ice cream bars there, so I was like, "Okay, take a picture of this, mother, whatever." And he did, and then it came out like that, and I said, "That is one of the coolest things I've ever seen."
How old were you, or what year was that?
Oh, that had to have been in like 99, 2000.
Wow.
And I framed it, so I keep that at work.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Austin.
You know what? This might be a very unpopular opinion here. It is whenever I mention it.
We
to
already talked
people.
about Temple of Doom enough.
I am not big on Halloween. It just really doesn't do anything for me. I like candy. I like chocolate. So anytime I can get a hold of some candy, that's a good thing. But I don't like horror movies. I'm not into the macabre. I don't care about dressing up. I'm not a cosplayer at all.
So he just lures children in and steals their candy.
He worships the Easter Bunny.
It's kind of just another day for me. I see other people get excited, and that's fine. Knock yourself out. But it's really no big deal. But that's not to say I didn't dress up a little bit as a kid here and there before I,
Sure.
developed this opinion throughout life. But as an adult, I did 2 years in a row. Because I'm a bit of a rock and roller. I used to have long hair, and so when Phantom Menace came out, I got a hold of a Qui-Gon Jinn costume. I had the long hair. I grew out my beard and did a Qui-Gon Jinn, and apparently I pulled it off pretty well because people were so excited about it the one year. I did it a second year too, and then after that I was like,
and they were like, "Fuck that! The prequels suck."
Just one of the reasons I don't wear costumes and stuff is like I have sensitive skin, and I don't like getting all hot and sweaty, and just it's uncomfortable.
He's a priss.
So.
Did you take a picture of that?
Well, I have a picture somewhere.
We'll
see if I
in fact, on my fridge, there's a Polaroid of me with my two daughters. Who she had to be difficult and be Snow White that year because we were going to try to do a Star Wars theme because one of my daughters did Padme, and so there's a nice picture of us.
Nice.
You realize it's his fault that Disney owns Star Wars now?
Why?
One kid Padme, the other kid Snow White.
Yeah.
It was predicted.
It's all your fault.
Damn you.
Yes, the prophecy is in a Polaroid from 16 years ago.
All right. Well, we'll get all that information. Those.
Wait, what about Miguel?
Mine was covered on last episode.
Yeah, we talked about Miguel's last. What was one of yours? Your dad made you costumes?
Yeah, actually, I got my dad here right now. The one I remember is the Storm Shadow costume.
Oh, right.
He made for me out of, I believe it was just the curtain or a bedsheet. That's my father. Everybody, say hello.
Hello.
But yeah, and then like I said on the previous
supervised.
podcast, I had said that the Cobra logo was taken off of the wheel cover from the Cobra Stun. And then I had the checkerboard Vans back in the day that he just whited out. Like that was my favorite costume.
It's pretty ingenious, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you guys want to hear more about that? Just listen to the previous podcast.
Yeah, pull up episode 2.
Or you can just listen to that, which was pretty much a full recap.
There you go.
Exactly.
Well, we went a lot into more
That was my
detail.
fault.
I talked about how I dressed up as gum. So, so yeah, check out episode 2. That sort of brings us towards, that brings us towards the end of our podcast. For this week, we'll be back probably in a week to 2 weeks with another episode for you. But we are on iTunes. Be sure to subscribe, as well as Stitcher and a lot of other of the streaming platforms. Anybody want? We're gonna go around and have our nerd sign off, and we will see you guys soon.
Stay classy.
Have a great night, guys, and thank you for inviting me over for the podcast. And see you guys next time.
All right, guys, this is Miguel signing off, saying Wolfman has nards.
Listen to episode 2, Austin.
This is Austin saying I'll catch you on the flip side.
This is Scott. See you later. I got nothing.
All right, guys, keep it nerdy. We'll see you next time.
In my former life, I was a pre-Columbian drug lord assassin.